Right. We had another case just recently that I talked to, and they will probably hire us. So maybe 6 months ago, they hired a full-time bookkeeper for roughly $3,500 a month. So this business is in the business of title searches. They have 5 employees, another small business, and they pay $3,500. And the problem is the owner doesn't know what the person doing the QuickBooks is doing, because when they hired that bookkeeper, they didn't even talk to their outside accountants, nor did their outside accountants offer for them to help in the hiring. So you have an owner that's a specialist in title searches hiring a person that's supposed to know QuickBooks, and he complained that they've been in the office for 2 or 3 months, and they seem to be creating, quote unquote, they seem to be creating work, number one. Number two, we're still behind by 6 months on the accounting. And number three, I don't know what she's doing. And so you can see the problem with, a person in another industry hiring a QuickBooks person and just letting them loose on the software. It just doesn't work. But one of the things we offered in our package of services is we would overlook what she's doing, assuming he wants to keep that person, which I told him in general, keep her, see how she's doing. But what we do is we install software on their computer in their office in downtown Washington, and we log on and we can do everything from our office that we could do if we were there, and then we will monitor what she's done. So if she says she's done bank reconciliations for March and April and May, we will actually see those bank reconciliations, and it's all done very efficiently.
So in this case, you provide oversight, but you're also helping the owner possibly verify that work said that is done is actually done and done correctly.
Yeah, that's correct. And then also, as part of that, because we're connected with them, when he, as he said in his previous accountants, he would say, we just use the accountants for our taxes. And that basically that means is, it basically means this. I was there on October 12th, and October 11th, he received his tax returns, personal and business, personal, and I take that back. It was because he was an LLC, he reported it all on his personal return. So he was receiving his personal returns for 2011 on October 12th, 2012, and you don't really have any. What he's missing there is he's missing any real-time information or advice from an accountant on his business, which is really what he needs. And the reason why he doesn't get it is he's kind of been trained by default that he just sees the accountant at the end of the year, and he tries to get it done the best he can, and he doesn't really have any accounting firm that's kind of working with him. They're kind of working after everything's been done. They just do the administrative duties of preparing the taxes, which is, you're not getting your money's worth.
And Paul, is it fair to say in this example that a lot of companies like that, they don't understand the value that you would bring in terms of consulting with them, to help make sure that the company is profitable, and that there's certain experiences that you have that if they ask you and partner with you and you become sort of part of their team, that you can help them run the business more effectively, because you have a close scrutiny on the numbers.
That's true. A lot of this comes about because in the case I saw, the previous accounting firm is charging them on an hourly basis, so they tend not to want to call them. They don't want to involve them because every time they involve them, they get a bill or they know, whereas the way we work is we give them a package, and we have a budget for the year, and in general they can call us all they want, and there's not any change. So in that way, they feel like they can be our partner because every time they call us, they're not going to get a bill, and that encourages that kind of activity when you have that. And it's not much more than what they pay now. In fact, our budget proposal for the person I just talked to, actually we're probably about 75% of what he paid the other accounting firm, and we're offering to be available as needed with not any, it doesn't cost them more to do that.
That makes sense, especially financially.
Yeah, it's a good situation.
Paul, if I'm a business owner listening and maybe have considered changing accountants sometime during this year, what's their business advantage doing something here in the fourth quarter as opposed to, say, waiting until the first of the year or after tax season?
I mean, generally speaking, now, October, November, December, we get increased calls for people. In fact, yesterday I got 2 calls for individuals who want to come in to preliminary look at their taxes. They're both new to the area. They're not going to use the accounting firm they had before. They want to know what they can do before the end of the year. In the case of businesses, sometimes the results of operations could lag a little. Besides that, now that we're in the fourth quarter, you have more data. When you're in the first quarter, especially when businesses are seasonal, they don't know exactly where they stand. But here at this company, we do tax planning in the fall because you have a full 9 months, 10 months of operations. So the majority of the year is gone. You want to know where you stand. The accounting's got to be up to date. When you have that data and you just have 2 months left, now you can predict where you're going to be. Whereas in the first quarter, you might not know for the year you're going to have a profit or loss or where you are. But now that 9 or 10 months are gone, we can assess where they are. They can put in a pension plan. They can. One of the things they can do that really helps them actually is that if they have profits, they don't want us to tell them in April they have a tax. We can see you can do items 1, 2, 3 in planning, and then after that we can tell them the balance due. Now they know about it. They can plan some things. They cannot get into a situation where they spent the money on other things and then the tax comes and they're not prepared. So that's what we try to do now, and then come January, February, March of next year, you're more concentrating on 2013. You're doing a budget for the year. You're getting set for 2013. You're not in a situation where you're in October the following year and you just finished the previous year. You're in a situation of, you're planning for 2013 because you know what happened in 2012, and that's what we try to get people to do.
Paul, if there's somebody listening to this, either on the replay or some other means, and they've been on the fence, about making a change, but suddenly after listening to this, they have an interest in talking to you, what's the best next step to take in way to get a hold of you?
I mean, the best next step is to think about their situation. There's nothing to lose by getting a second opinion, and that's what we offer when we see people is a second opinion. Sometimes I see people, they're in a good situation, they don't need to make a change, they're getting proper, and we tell them so. In general, we work people on a long-term basis, so we don't take people away from good situations. What we try to do is tell them, look, this is where you stand, these are the items that you should be getting, and if they're not, then we give them a proposal, and they can consider making the change. We receive calls all the time because we're pretty prominent on Google, and we meet with them. There's not a cost for the consultation, and we compare what they should be getting with their existing situation, and they would email or call me.
Well, what's the best number and best email to use to get a hold of you?
My email is psullivan@esullivan.net. And my telephone number is 301-657-8080, extension 102.